Hey there, my name is E.W. Buckley, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I have this theory that sampling is a documentarian practice, and I want to share that theory with you today. We all have strong memories around music. Studies show that the music that we listen to as teenagers deeply impacts us for the rest of our lives. But there are non-musical sounds that impact us as well, whereas the music of our adolescence tends to remind us who we were as kids. These non-musical sounds tend to remind us of people and places that were important to us growing up. And when we write music, we are expressing ourselves musically. And that expression usually comes in the form of lyrics or melodies or chord progressions. But that expression can also come sonically as well. This is what I mean by sampling as a documentarian practice. By capturing the sounds of people and places important to you and incorporating them in your music, you can add a layer of expression that goes far beyond what is possible with lyrics, chords, or melody alone. Let me show you what I'm talking about. I grew up in central Illinois in an area called the Illinois Valley. Growing up, I wanted nothing more than to leave that place and see what else was out there, and eventually I did just that. I moved to Seattle in 2020, and I've been here ever since, but there are things about Illinois that I didn't realize I would miss until I left. Take thunderstorms, for example. Despite the fact that it rains nearly all year here in Seattle, it very rarely storms. But one of the sounds that I miss the most is cicadas. Now, a few years ago, I went back to Illinois for my 10-year high school reunion. And as I parked to go inside, a single cicada started singing in the tree above me. I quickly grabbed my phone and I recorded it because I knew that I was going to make an instrument with it as soon as I got back home. Let me show you. So I took that cicada recording and I brought it home and used a technique pretty similar to the one that I covered in this video to draw a resonant pitch out. In this case, I only drew out the fundamental because I really wanted as much of the cicada to cut through as possible. So if I play C4 on my keyboard, you're going to hear that single resonance and the recording of the cicada unaltered. And the cool thing is that even though the pitch of the cicada changes, if I move it up or down, when you play chords on this instrument, it just sounds like the chorus of cicadas you hear in any Midwestern city in the summer. Now, to build out the rest of the instrument rack, I chose a more abstract, maybe artistic approach to the sound design. Instead of just thinking about the utility of effects, I really wanted to find and capture sounds that created different feelings of summer for me growing up. And so the macros that I have on the top row, of course, the amount of cicadas you want to bring into the signal, and then a macro for sun, smoke, and humidity, making me think of hot summers finishing with bonfires and waiting for the dew to start to form on the grass. It's important memories from my childhood. And at this point, I don't even remember what each of these macros actually are consisting of. I could very easily just open them up and see, but that isn't the point. For me, it's meant to conjure emotions, to conjure feelings, and time and place. And having these macros labeled as such helped me to make that reality when making music with this instrument. This instrument actually ended up playing a pretty pivotal role in my single run. On a different trip back home to Illinois, I took the time to record my grandparents' Windchimes. I literally stood outside in the middle of the night and recorded each of them individually. I did that because I wanted to take the samples back into the studio and reassemble them as a set of wind chimes, but as an instrument that I could control. And the solution actually ended up being pretty simple for achieving that. Let me show you how I did it. So this instrument is already pretty involved, but if I expand the first, second, and third nested instrument rack, we see that nested inside of it is, of course, another rack with MIDI effects here. And to achieve the kind of unpredictable but meandering sound that wind chimes have, but one that I could control, the solution that I ended up coming up with was having a MIDI rack that had two separate chains that each had an arpeggiator on it that are then feeding into the sampler within which the instrument is built. And one ARP is set to a synced rate, and the other ARP is set to a free rate. And to control the balance, whether you want it to feel a bit more in time or out of time, there's a separate velocity control for both the free ARP and the synced arpeggiator. This is probably one of the coolest sound design problems I've ever solved for myself. At first, I wasn't sure if I wanted to share these instruments with others, but I ultimately came to the conclusion that there was beauty in doing so. If you watching this right now ever make and release a piece of music with either of these instruments in it, then my memories will be a part of your music forever. Memories of my grandmother's magnolia trees in the spring, or my grandfather building cabinets in the yard on a hot summer day. And I just think there is something so profound and special about that. The histories of physical instruments have long been important. We see that all the way from Stradivarius violins to curated reverb artist shops today. Why can't the history of digital instruments be just as significant? I think it can be. What sounds were important to you growing up? Capture them sonically if you still can, and give them a place in your music. Express yourself sonically in a way that you maybe had never considered or even knew was possible before. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that this video has inspired you to go out and to capture your own memories and to think about what sonically is important to you. Please consider liking, subscribing, and leaving a comment, because I am working so hard to try to grow this channel to 10,000 subscribers by the end of 2025, and your support means the world to me. If you're interested in either of the instruments that I discussed in this video, they're both available on my website individually or together as part of my total bundle. But otherwise, that's it for today. Till next time.